Colonial Williamsburg is an interactive, a living, breathing place.
I did put you through the worst, however.
Yes, just for the experience, so I could talk about it, I think.
I'm going to say up front, it's also the least expensive RV type campground in Williamsburg, in the area. Okay, today we are going to be doing an in-depth video.
Yes.
About Colonial Williamsburg, give some information there, and also give a review of places you can stay. It's going to be in several parts.
Yes.
And hopefully you'll learn something and enjoy.
Gain some information, maybe help you out on a visit.
All right. So Colonial Williamsburg is a great stop if you're heading south or back north from snowbirding down south for the winter. It's just a little bit of a detour heading from 95, head 64 east and towards Williamsburg. Okay, so why would you find yourself there? Why would you go there? Well, Colonial Williamsburg was established in the 1920s. It's basically taking some original buildings and some reconstructions funded initially by the Rockefeller family.
Right.
And there's all sorts of things to do there.
Yes.
They offer a single-day pass. They offer a multi-day pass, which is good for up to 3 days. And you can see costumed
interpreters. And those were good. They're tradespeople as well. Tradespeople.
Yes, various tradespeople in historic buildings.
I loved the wig maker.
His hair was dressed.
I love the wig maker.
The wig maker is one of my favorites. The printer, the blacksmith, also things you definitely want to see. Then there are historic sites as well. That is the Capitol, which has been reconstructed. The Wythe House.
Wasn't that original?
The Wythe House is original, I believe. There is the Peyton Randolph House, the courthouse. So other historic buildings and locations you can visit, and they have tours and programs there.
Absolutely.
And then probably what we enjoyed the most.
Absolutely. I mean, I called them, let's see, living characters. It was a highlight of the visit, in my opinion. You go, you sit, you enjoy a talk, but I don't even want to really call it a talk. It's like you're meeting these characters. We had George Washington,
Patrick
Henry, Martha Washington. Oh, and that French guy,
Marquis de Lafayette.
Marquis de Lafayette. It was engaging. I absolutely loved it. I mean, I have kind of a theater interest, so of course it's theater. But at the same time, what I really liked about them is, one, they were authentic. They were in character, and they were on the mark. But at the end of their talk, every one of them opened up for audience questions, from guest questions. And this was quality improv going on here. I was impressed because they would answer questions in character, historically accurate, time period accurate, humor. Oh, it was amazing. I loved it.
It is definitely a highlight. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Stick around because we have some don'ts of Williamsburg, as well as logistics if you're in an RV, and places to stay and places to eat.
Absolutely.
All right, so go ahead, smash that like button because it helps more people see our video and our channel continue to grow.
And ring that bell.
Ring our bell.
Yes, please
and
ring
subscribe.
Our bell. Yes, share it also, because when you share it with other people who may not know us or have seen us, get a chance to experience what you're experiencing.
Right. All right, so back into this, some don'ts.
Don't do it. Don't waste your time. Don't even think about it.
Okay, so if you haven't heard me say, I was a tour director probably for 7 seasons in total. Williamsburg was in my wheelhouse. It's one of the places I've been many times. So I had some preconceived notion of what the best and the worst of Williamsburg is.
And I thank him for that.
I did put you through the worst, however.
Yes, just for the experience, so I could talk about it, I think.
Okay. Everyone thinks, I want to see this.
You want to do it? Yes, absolutely.
I want to do it. And that is the Governor's Palace.
Yes.
It was always last on my list, and I will tell you why. Quite frankly, the interpreters that they put on that tour are some of their lower quality interpreters. Now, hopefully someone who may do that tour and is there doesn't get offended, but it's just my experience.
Can I share quickly about the interpreter?
Sure.
Yeah, great guy. I feel like that maybe they're younger, because we had an interpreter at the Capitol building, right on the mark. I mean, great. This interpreter, it was weak. It was exhausting, respectfully. I wanted to find an exit.
Yeah,
I really did.
And here's the thing about that tour is it is a longer tour, and they compartmentalize you. So you go into a space, and then
they close the doors.
They close the doors, and once the tour in the next space is done, they move and you move into their space. And so you are literally landlocked in there. And if you don't get a good interpreter, it is and can be excruciating.
It kind of was. Also, understand that this is not an original build. It's a reconstruction, but it felt like a museum. And I can go to a museum, but I don't feel like Colonial Williamsburg should be in a museum. Colonial Williamsburg is an interactive experience. You're seeing people on carriages, on horses, people walking in costumes everywhere. It is a living, breathing place. This palace, this did not feel living and breathing. It felt very museum dead-like.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And so it is probably the biggest, in my opinion, waste of time in Williamsburg. There are other things not to miss, like the fife and drums.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes there are artillery displays, parades. It depends what time of year you're there. Also be aware that not everything is open or runs every day of the week. So the great thing about getting a multi-day pass is that you look at this week's schedule and you see what's open which days, and you can have that opportunity for planning. So you do definitely get value there.
Absolutely.
Also, there are evening activities. Most of them in the off-season are paid activities, and they have gone up in price over the years. So $19 seems to be the norm. There are some free ticketed events, like the music concert at Raleigh Tavern that we did take advantage.
We also ate at Colonial Williamsburg.
Yes,
now,
which is a must-do.
You should do it, absolutely. But keep in mind that prices can be a little bit exorbitant in certain places. So keep that in mind. But what we experienced, where did we go? Chowning. Absolutely loved it. Of course, the server was in costume, authentic. She made the visit, honestly.
And they do have an outdoor grill if you have kids, a family, so you could always eat out there. But the best way to experience it is to eat inside. It is the least expensive of the options. They are not open late, particularly in the off season, and not open necessarily every day of the week in the off season. Some of the highlights of the meal, we sort of did a sampling of plates.
Yes, we did.
We got the Welsh rarebit, which is just phenomenal. I enjoy every
yeah.
If you don't know what that is, you could look it up or send us an email. And then we did the cheese with pickled vegetables.
I love good pickled vegetable.
The Virginia pork barbecue. So it was a nice sampling. And then we had dessert.
The snow eggs. Well, the snow eggs.
Thomas Jefferson's favorite.
Oh my goodness. Those are to die for.
Right. So the food is part of the experience.
Yes.
In my estimation.
Let's do a quick break. We're only posting on Fridays. And so, look forward to our new videos then. Check out our website, twobearstrekking.com for information and also access to our websites. Christmas, not that far around the corner, so you need to do some shopping if you're going to do it. And definitely it would help us if you did some visiting over there.
All right. Sounds good. So for logistics, for RV logistics, okay, like I said, we stayed at the Anvil Campground, which is the closest. It's over on Moortown Road. It's about 7 to 8 minutes to the Colonial Williamsburg Visitor Center. I'm going to say up front, it's also the least expensive RV type campground in Williamsburg, in the area.
It didn't necessarily feel inexpensive because there's a lot that they had offering. I mean,
off-season midweek, it's still $50.
Yeah, okay.
Basically, they take Good Sam discounts, etc. Versus like $100 or close to $100 at some of the others. And we did go to another campground to fill up on propane.
Right.
And that was American Heritage, a little bit further out. So, yeah, Anvil Campground. Great bathrooms, showers.
Bathroom, showers, excellent.
Fantastic.
Yeah. They have a swimming pool. It's heated.
To 85.
I didn't see steam coming off.
Well, it was just closing the day we left. So I think they had shut the heat off because the tropical storm had run through that weekend.
It's not the only thing they shut the heat off on, but...
Well, apparently... we went to do laundry, and then as a bonus, they had laundry there.
That's nice.
But there was no hot water because the new hot water...
A part didn't connect or something, and they were in the process of getting the new part.
So that was a little bit disappointing.
Yes.
The spaces are tight. They don't necessarily put rigs in spaces that they fit well.
No. No. I was utterly and completely confused on the entrance-exit. Signage,
it's confusing.
Way too confusing. I mean, you can see from the signs, because we'll show you, there's arrows here, and there's a whole bunch of them that says entrance. But then when you want to exit, you exit out the entrance, even though the exit shows... I don't understand.
Exactly. And... saving the worst for last.
Oh, I forgot all about it, and I shouldn't have.
Yeah. And directly behind our site, and you can only get so far away from this, is the train track.
Yes.
It's a small campground. I think it has a little over 50 sites, but they're packed in. So you're not getting far away from that train.
No. I mean, even if you're on the far side of the campground from the train track, you're really not that far away.
We stayed 2 nights, and one of the nights, the trains came through, horns blaring, and several times. And we know our
locations with regards to trains. Yes, we do. Yes.
So having said all of that, it's tough to recommend. Wonderful people there.
Wonderful people. Now, there is something, and we'll kind of tie this in.
Yes.
But there is a bus stop. Okay.
Yes.
Right at this campground.
Yes. And it is the only campground in Williamsburg with bus access.
Right. So you could catch the bus, we'll emphasize catch the bus from here and get into Colonial Williamsburg.
Yes. It comes like every 40 minutes, I think. It's $3 and, but...
However.
Yeah. Once you're busing around Colonial Williamsburg, I'm not sure you're going to want to take yet another bus over there, especially when it's only 7 or 8 minutes. So if you have a vehicle, you just drive and park. I will tell you what we did and other people with RVs did that we ran into. They just drove over to Colonial Williamsburg Visitor Center because there is tons of extra parking.
Free, too.
Free parking.
Yes.
So
why not? I mean, what's nice about it, if your rig is there, then you could come out of Colonial Williamsburg to your rig, have lunch, have breakfast before you go in even. Rest, whatever, and then go back in to Colonial Williamsburg.
Exactly, especially if you have an evening activity as well. So you can stretch out your activities at Colonial Williamsburg a little bit more. So the advantage of being close and on a bus line, I think, are a negative. The only positive is it's about half the price or thereabouts of other options.
Yes. Now, if you stayed in one of the other campgrounds, it's not as close, so you're going to be driving a little bit. Not a lot, but you will be driving further.
Right.
So,
excellent.
If you guys go to Colonial Williamsburg, and it's a great place. I had my first time there, I loved it. It was a wonderful experience, even for the few experiences we had that weren't positive. Loved it.
And you can get around fairly easily. You're going to want to park at the visitor center and use the Colonial Williamsburg free shuttle.
Absolutely.
All right. Hopefully you found this helpful. Drop us some questions if there's something that we didn't cover. Absolutely. And in the meantime,
keep on trekking.